President Donald Trump has triggered a seismic shift in the global economic landscape with his sweeping new tariffs. Declaring April 2nd as Liberation Day, Trump announced a universal 10% baseline tariff on all imports to the United States.
Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time.
But it doesn't end there. 60 countries, labeled by the Trump administration as worst offenders, will face even steeper tariffs ranging from 15% to a staggering 50%. Trump, standing defiantly at the White House Rose Garden, proclaimed the move as a declaration of economic independence. According to the president, this sweeping measure is meant to counter what he describes as decades of exploitation by foreign nations, imposing unfair trade barriers on US products.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time.
Trump's administration is branding this policy as reciprocal tariffs, claiming that countries imposing unfair tariffs on US goods will now face their own medicine. For China, the total tariff rate is now an astronomical 54%, the highest among all targeted nations. Goods from Vietnam and Cambodia will be hit with rates of 46% and 49%, respectively. The measures come in response to what Trump calls a pillaging of American industries. According to the White House, the new tariffs will affect trillions of dollars in trade. This protectionist approach is projected to increase the US tariff rate to 7.1% by the end of 2025, the highest since 1968. But it's not just China. Key allies like the European Union and Japan are being hit hard, with tariffs of 20% and 24% respectively. Even India is facing a 26% tariff, half of the 52% it allegedly imposes on US goods.
President Trump's announcement of universal tariffs on the whole world, including the European Union, is a major blow to the world economy. I deeply regret this choice. Let's be clear-eyed about the immense consequences. The global economy will massively suffer. Uncertainty will spiral and trigger the rise of further protectionism.
From Europe to Asia, the backlash has been swift. Japan, which faces a 24% tariff, has expressed deep concern.
今般の発表を受け、改めて米国政府に対し、今般の措置が極めて遺憾である旨伝えるとともに、措置の見直しを強く申し入れたところでございます。今般の措置をはじめ、米国政府による広範な貿易制限措置は、日米両国の経済関係、ひいては世界経済や多角的貿易体制全体等に大きな影響を及ぼしかねないと考えております。
The reaction from China has been equally fierce. Beijing has vowed resolute countermeasures against what it calls an unjustified attack on global trade. Even countries not directly hit with extreme tariffs are bracing for impact. Singapore and Malaysia have already prepared policies to mitigate currency volatility and potential economic shocks. The announcement has sent shockwaves through financial markets. The Dow Jones futures fell by 1.5% within hours of Trump's statement. Major export-reliant economies like Japan, South Korea and Germany are already seeing declines in their stock markets. According to experts, the real impact may be felt months down the line. Countries like India, which have a trade surplus of $36.8 billion with the US, are now strategizing to soften the blow. While the Trump administration insists that the tariffs will protect American jobs and industries, economists are warning of higher prices for consumers and slower growth across the globe. Trump's tariffs on foreign cars and auto parts alone will hit an estimated $460 billion worth of imports. Automakers like Volkswagen and Stellantis are already planning plant shutdowns, import fees, and price adjustments. European Council President Antonio Costa has pledged to support the European Commission's trade negotiations, emphasizing a unified European response. Analysts argue that Trump's policies could plunge many nations into recession, with the US tariff rate rising to levels unseen since the 1960s. Despite the warning against retaliation, countries like China, India, and Japan are already considering their own countermeasures. As the world watches, Trump remains unmoved, describing the tariffs as worth it, even if they lead to an economic downturn